Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of the POB syllabus marathon. We are using our syllabus to get that grade 1 that we so rightfully deserved. If you have not watched part 1 of the video, please go over to my channel guys and you can watch that video because this is part 2. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please remember to like, share, and leave a comment on this video. Also, guys, please remember to watch the ads to support my channel. So we're going to look at section 5, production. These are the objectives that you should know. We're just going to go through them a little. All right. So the content is, what are the factors of production? The factors of production are land, labor, capital, enterprise. Now we are going to also look at Caribbean industries developed from agricultural produce and mining, and we're also going to look at the effects of efficiency in the production of goods and services. So let's start with the factors of production. Land. This refers to natural resources such as water, mineral, and forests. For example, a farmer uses land to grow crops. Labor refers to the human effort used in production. Workers in a factory would be an example of labor. Capital refers to man-made resources such as building, machinery, and tools. A company using capital to purchase equipment and materials. Enterprise, this refers to the ability to take risks and organize resources to produce goods and services. For example, an entrepreneur starts a business by combining land, labor, and capital. Now, Caribbean industries develop from agricultural produce and mining. The Caribbean region has a long history of agricultural production and mining, guys. So, some examples of industries that have developed from these sectors includes the sugar industry, bauxite industry, tourism. So if you want to talk about any Caribbean industries that were developed from agriculture, produce, and mining, you can refer to those. Sugar industry, bauxite, and tourism. The effects of efficiency in the production of goods and services. Efficiency in production refers to the ability to produce goods and services at a lower cost and with fewer resources. The effects of efficiency in production includes increased productivity. So when production is efficient, more goods and services can be produced with the same amount of resources. Lower costs. Efficient production leads to lower costs, which can result in higher profit for businesses. Improved quality. Efficient production can also lead to improved quality as businesses are able to focus on producing high-quality goods and services. Competitive advantage. Businesses that are efficient in production can gain a competitive advantage over their rivals as they are able to produce goods and services at a lower cost and with higher quality. Productivity as it relates to the efficiency of labor, including its value and importance, the factors affecting its supply, human resource development, including education, health, and working conditions. We are also going to look at migration and its positive and negative effects on the labor force. We are going to look at importance of entrepreneurial organizational skills, fixed working and venture capital, production levels, including subsistence, domestic consumption, surplus, and export. And finally, we will look at the types of production. So we're going to start by looking at productivity as it relates to the efficiency of labor. Now, productivity refers to the measure of output per unit of input, such as labor or capital. It is an important concept in economics because it helps businesses and organizations to understand how efficiency they are using their resources to produce goods and services. For example, say a company has 10 employees who produces 100 units of a product per day. If the company increases its workplace to 15 employees and produces 150 units per day, its productivity has increased by 50%. All right. Now we're going to look at migration and its positive and negative effect on the labor force. So migration, as we know, refers to the movement of people from one place to another. Now, how does migration affects the labor force? We're going to start off with the positive effects of migration on the labor force. So migration can bring in new skills and ideas that can benefit the economy. So maybe someone is migrating, you're leaving US to come to Jamaica to work in a business. So the new skill and ideas that you bring can definitely benefit the economy. Migrants can fill labor gaps in certain industries. Migration can increase the diversity of the workplace, leading to more innovative solutions. So you might have someone from a different place, a different country coming to work in your business. It will definitely bring about diversity and innovative initiative. Negative effect of migration. Migration can lead to job competition and lower wages for native workers. Migration can put pressure on public services such as healthcare and education. Example, a country experiences a significant influx of migrant workers in the construction industry. While this may lead to lower wages for native construction workers, it also brings in new skills and ideas that can benefit the industry as a whole. All right, and there are many other positive and negative effects of migration on the labor force that you could look at. But for the sake of the video, we have to do two. Importance of entrepreneurial organization skills. All right, these entrepreneurial organization skills that we're talking about refer to the ability of an entrepreneur to plan, organize, and manage resources effectively to achieve business goals. Now, why is it important? It helps entrepreneurs to identify opportunities and make informed decisions. It enables entrepreneurs to allocate resources efficiently and effectively, and it allows entrepreneurs to adapt to changes in the market and stay competitive. And there are many other importance that you can write about, guys, but for the sake of the video, we have to cut it short. Example, say an entrepreneur starts a new business and uses their organizational skills to create a business plan, secure funding, and hire employees. They are also able to manage their resources effectively and make informed decisions that help the business grow and succeed. Number 7, we are to look at fixed, working, and venture capital. Fixed capital refers to a long-term investment in assets such as building, machinery, and equipment. Working capital refers to a short-term investment in assets such as inventory, accounts receivable, and cash. Venture capital refers to investment in startup and early stage companies. And again, guys, I'm going to put a little examples here and there. Example, a company invests $100,000 in a fixed capital to purchase a new equipment. It also invests $50,000 in a working capital to purchase inventory and $20,000 in a venture capital to invest in a startup company. All right. Number 8, production levels, subsistence. So if on the CXC paper they ask you anything about production levels, your answers should be showing subsistence, domestic consumption, surplus, and export. Now, production level refers to the amount of goods and services produced by a business or economy. Subsistent production refers to production that is just enough to meet the basic needs of the producer or maybe the family. They're just producing enough for their family. Domestic consumption refers to production that is consumed within the country or region. Surplus production refers to production that exceeds domestic consumption and can be exported or stored for future use. Export production refers to production that is sold to other countries or regions. Example, let's say a farmer produces 100 units of wheat per year. If they consume 50 units themselves, that would be subsistence, they have a surplus of 50 units that can be sold domestically or exported. Types of production. There are several types of productions. We're going to try to look at few. But for CXC purposes, if you get any question asking about the types of production, your answers should be showing extractive, which are examples of extractive production are agriculture, mining and fishing, construction, building, manufacturing, assembling, refining, service, transport, communication, and tourism. So those are the types of production that you should be talking about if you're asked about types of productions, and the examples are beside them. All right. Now we're going to look at cottage industries. So cottage industries includes home base, mainly manual, small scale, use of local raw material, use of family members as labor. And we're going to look at those guys. So we're going to look at cottage industry. All right, so cottage industries are small scaled, as the syllabus says, home-based businesses that typically involve manual labor and uses local raw materials. They often employ family members as laborers. Examples of cottage industries would include handcrafts such as weaving, pottery, and wood carving. You could look at food processing such as baking, jam making, or textile production such as spinning, dyeing, and sewing. All those would be examples of cottage industries because they are small scale, they are home-based businesses that typically involve manual labor. All right, so we're going down to linkage industries, and these can be backward, forward. So we're going to look at what does now when the syllabus talk about linkage industries, it's just referring to the connection, as the word linkage suggests, between different sectors or industries within an economy. These linkages can be either backward or forward, depending on the direction of the relationship. Now, what do we mean by backward linkage? Backward linkage occurs when an industry relies on another industry for its input or raw materials. In other words, it is a connection between an industry and its suppliers. Forward linkage occurs when an industry provides output or products to another industry. In other words, just say it's a connection between an industry and its customers. So backward linkages is a connection between an industry and its suppliers. Forward linkages is a connection between the industry and its customers. Example, I'm going to jump in a little example, guys. Backward linkage. Example, a textile mill relies on cotton farmers for its raw material. In this case, the textile mill has a backward linkage with the cotton farming industry. Forward linkage, a steel manufacturing company supplies steel to the construction industry. In this case, the steel manufacturing company has a forward linkage with the construction industry. All right. Then we're going to go down to factors affecting location. Now, the factors that affect the location of a business are geographical, and we're just using the syllabus. What do we mean by geographical? This refers to the physical characteristics of a location, such as does the location has terrain and natural resources. Example, say a company produces agricultural products. That company may prefer to locate in an area with fertile soil and adequate rainfall. So geography has a lot to do with location. If you are say you are in the bauxite industry, you would want to go any and anywhere to put your factory. You'll want to ensure that you're in a location where you can mine. All right, so geography has a lot to do with location. Another factor that affects location is the availability of raw materials and supply, meaning that businesses need access to raw materials and supplies to produce goods or services. For instance, say a textile manufacturer would want to locate near cotton fields or supplies. So you want to locate somewhere where you can get the raw material. If you are into textile and you need cotton for your business, you want to locate to where a cotton farm is or a cotton field is or someone that produces or supplies cotton is so that you can do your business. Another factor that affects location is infrastructure. When we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about roads, bridges, ports, airports, and other transportation facilities. So a company that relies heavily on imports or exports would benefit from locating near a port or an airport. Power. Access to reliable and affordable energy sources is critical for many businesses. Example, a manufacturing plant may require a steady supply of electricity to operate machine. Water is essential for various industrial processes such as manufacturing, agriculture, and mining. A company that uses large amount of water may prefer to locate near a water source. All right, let's go down and see if we can skip some of these out. Labor supply, the availability of skilled and unskilled labor can significantly impact a business operation. A company may choose to locate in an area with a large pool of qualified workers. Now we're going to look at the functions of a small firm. Functions of a small firm. Now we all can agree that small firms play a crucial role in the economy, and their functions are diverse and essential. So some of the functions of a small firm are: small firms produce goods and services to meet the needs of their customers. They may manufacture products, provide services, or other solutions to specific problems. Another function of small firms is that they promote and sell their products or services to attract customers and generate revenue. They may use various marketing strategies such as advertising, social media, and networking. The final function of a small firm that I'm going to look at, and there are many more, is small firms manage their finances to ensure they have enough sufficient funds to operate and grow. They may secure loans, investments, or grants to support their business activities. So now we're going to look at growth of a business and effects on organization, capital, labor, scale of production, use of technology, potential, expert. And we're not going to look at all of these. We're going to look at a few. Just a few we're going. Now we're going to look at growth of a business and effects on the following that the syllabus has listed from A to F. Now we're going to look at organizational structure. Now, as a business grows, its organizational structure may need to, so as a business grows, its organizational structure may need to change to accommodate the increased size and complexity of the organization. For example, a small business might start as a flat organization with a few employees, but as it grows, it may need to adopt a more hierarchical structure with multiple levels management. How does the growth of a business affect capital? Often requires the growth of a business. So as a business grow, it often requires additional capital to fund expansion plans, invest in new equipment, and hire more staff. For example, a small business might need to secure a loan or investment to fund its growth plan. Labor. The growth of a business can lead to an increase in the number of employees, which can bring new skills and perspective to the organization. Scale of production, economics of scale. The growth of a business can lead to economic of scale, which occurs when the cost of producing one unit of a product decreases as the quantity produced increases. Use of technology. The growth of a business can lead to the adoption of new technologies to improve efficiency, productivity, and competitiveness. All right. We're going to look at capital intensive versus labor intensive production in developing countries, mechanization and automation, computer aided design, and computer aided instruction. Guys, please remember you have to look at the topics that are on this syllabus because these are going to be the topics that you'll be getting your questions on the exam paper from. All right. Now, in developing countries, businesses often face challenges related to limited resources, including capital and labor. So, capital intensive production involves using machinery and technology to produce goods and services. So capital intensive production uses machine and technology to produce goods and services. Labor intensive production relies on human labor. So mechanization and automation can bring several benefits to businesses in developing countries. So mechanization and automation can bring several benefits to businesses in developing countries, including increased efficiency. Machines can work faster and more accurately than humans, leading to increased productivity. Improve quality. Machines can produce high quality products consistently, reducing the risk of human error. So, they're talking about introducing the robots in schools and other business places. Do you really think that machines are able to, you know, do the work more productive and efficiently and effectively than humans? Mm. All right. Machines can replace human labor, reducing labor costs and improving profitability. Now, however, mechanization and automation can also have negative consequences, such as job losses. So when machines can replace human workers, this can lead to job losses and unemployment. Dependency on technology. So businesses may become too reliant on technology, making them vulnerable to technological failures. Computer-aided design, CAD, and computer-aided instruction, CAI, are examples of technologies that can be used in developing countries to improve productivity and efficiency. So CAD, which is a computer-aided design, involves using computer software to design and develop products, while CAI involves using computer software to provide instruction and training to employees. All right, so let's go to marketing. So if you see any question on marketing on your exam paper, this is where it's coming from. All right, so you can read through the objectives that we are going to look at. Okay. All right. Definition of market and marketing. All right, so a market refers to a group of people who have a need or want for a particular product or service. Marketing, on the other hand, is the process of promoting and selling products or services to meet the needs of a target market. Now, marketing activities. So what are some of the activities that are involved in marketing goods and services? We're going to look at a few. Market research. This involves gathering information about a target market to understand their needs and preferences. So when you're marketing your goods and services, you have to do a market research. Pricing. Determining the price of a product or service based on factors such as cost, competition, and target profit margin. Packaging. designing and creating the physical appearance of a product, including you're going to put your label and your branding on your product, etc. Branding, creating a unique identity for a product or service, including its name, logo, and overall image. Sales production, using various tactics to encourage customers to buy a product or service. Distribution, getting a product or service from the manufacturer to the end user, including transportation, storage, and delivery. All right, going down, marketing mix. Now, when we talk about marketing mix, as you know, it is also known as the 4Ps. This is a framework used to develop and implement marketing strategies. The 4Ps are product, price, place, and promotion. So product is the actual service or product that is being offered. Price is the amount that is charged for the product or service. Place is a channel that is used to distribute and sell a product or service. Promotion are the various tactics used to promote a product or service. So remember the marketing mix, which are the 4Ps, which are used to develop and implement marketing strategies. Market research. And we're going down nicely, guys. So market research is a process of gathering and analyzing data about a target market to understand their needs and preferences. This includes concept, definition, and types. Now, the concept is the idea that is being tested through market research. The definition is the specific terms and concept used in market research, such as target market, sample size, and data collection methods. Types are the different types of market research, including qualitative and quantitative research, primary and secondary research, exploratory and conclusive research. All right, so when you talk about market research, you have to look at the concept, which is what is being tested. You have to look at the definition of the different terms that you're going to use in your research, such as target market, and then you have to look at the different types of market research. Reason for conducting market research: factors that influences consumer behavior. So some of the reasons why we need to do a market research in business are to understand consumer preferences and tastes. This is crucial for businesses to develop products that meet customers' needs. Another reason for conducting market research is competition. So we need to analyze competitors to help businesses, and this will help when we analyze our competitors. This will help our business to identify gaps in the market and develop strategies to gain a competitive edge. Consumer behavior. Studying consumer behavior enables businesses to understand how consumers make purchasing decisions and develop effective marketing strategies. What are the factors that influences consumer behavior? In other words, what are the factors that influences how consumers make purchasing decisions? The first one is the price. So as a consumer, we're going to buy something, we're going to look at the cost of the product or the service. Can it significantly impact purchasing decision? So if we're going to buy a shoes, we're going to compare prices to ensure that we're getting the best price for the shoes, and that will influence our consumer behavior. Price of substitutes. So the availability and pricing of substitute products can influence consumer choices. So instead of buying chicken, do you want to buy chicken parts or chicken legs only? Quality. The perceived quality of a product or service can affect consumer satisfaction and loyalty. So if you're going to buy something, you want to ensure that you are getting the best quality for your money. Taste. Personal preferences and tastes can play a significant role in shaping consumer behavior. So if you're going to buy patties, you're going to ensure that you are getting the one that you prefer and the one that tastes the best. Tradition, cultural and social traditions can influence consumer purchasing decisions. Income, consumers' disposable income and affordability can impact their purchasing power. Brand loyalty, consumers' loyalty to specific brands can influence their repeat purchases and recommendations. So if you are a student who loves to buy Jordan sneakers, that's the shoes brand that you're going to stick to. So you're not going to buy Nike because that is not your brand. That's Nike shoes. You don't like Nike sneakers. Jordan is your thing. So over and over, you're going to continually repurchasing Jordan sneakers. All right. So let us go down to market structures. So if they ask you anything about market structures, any question about market structures, you should be talking about the perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Oligopoly. Now, what do we mean by the perfect competition? So there are different types of market structures. We have the perfect competition structure. This is a market structure where many firms produce a homogeneous product and no single firm has the power to influence the market price. Monopoly, a market structure where only one firm supplies the entire market with a particular goods or service. Oligopoly, a market structure where a small number of firms compete with each other and each firm has a significant price setting power. Now, pricing. What are some of the determinants of price? And we're going to look at demand and supply, the concept of equilibrium price or market clearing price. Now, demand and supply. The price of a goods or service is determined by the interaction of demand and supply in the market. So when demand is high, you have a lot of people wanting that product. The supply is low. Why is that so? Demand is high, the supply is low. You have a lot of people wanting the product because there are so many people buying the product, we don't have enough of that product to supply everyone. So the supply is low. So when that happens, prices tend to rise. A lot of people want Jordan shoes. We do not have enough supplies. So it's those who have their money, who reaches first, they are the one will get their Jordan shoes, however, at a high price. When demand is low and supply is high, demand is low, we have a lot of goods, but we don't have enough people buying that goods. The prices tend to fall so that more people can buy the goods. All right, another thing that determinants of price is the concept of equilibrium price or market clearing price. So the equilibrium price is a price at which the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing to buy equals the quantity that producers are willing to sell. This is also known as a market clearing price. All right, and we are down to packaging. Okay, so packaging refers to the process of designing and creating containers or wrappers for products. It involves when you're packaging your product, there are two things that you have to look at. You have to look at the presentation of your package and the brand names. Presentation, this aspect focuses on how the product is displayed and presented to potential customers, including its its visual appeal and attractiveness. Use of brand names. This involves using the name of a brand to identify and differentiate a product from others in the market. Concept of copyright. Now, copyright refers to the legal right granted to creators of original works, such as literature, music, and art, to control the use and distribution of their work. So if you are a person who you wrote an original poem, you can copyright your poem. All right. There are two When we think about the concept of copyright, there are two things we have to think about. We have to think about producers or entrepreneurs, and we have to think about consumers. So producer or entrepreneurs are those who maintain ownership and control over the product they have created and registered by obtaining a patent. You write your original poem, you want to copyright your poem, you can do so by obtaining a patent. Consumers, those who may purchase the product but cannot reproduce it for commercial purposes without permission of the producer. So you sing a song, your producer produces that song, it's your original song, you patent it or copyright that song. Even though consumers may buy the product, they cannot reproduce it for any commercial purposes without the permission of your producer. So the concept of patent, including the concept of the franchise, who is given a patent or official permission to reproduce the product. So a patent is a legal document that grants exclusive right to an inventor for a specific period. A franchisee is an individual or company that is given a patent or official permission to reproduce the product. Methods of promoting sales. Now, methods of promoting sales refers to the various techniques that are used to increase sales and revenue in a business. All right, this can be one of those techniques is advertisement. Now, advertisement involves promoting a product or service through various media channels such as television, radio, print, and online advertisement. Now, there are three subtopics of advertisement: functions and forms. Now, this refers to the different types of advertisement, such as print ads, TV commercials, and online ads. So if you are asked to give examples of function and forms type of advertisement, you can talk about print ads, TV commercials, and online ads. Promotion, including trading stamps and coupons. Now, this involves offering incentive to customers who purchase a product or service. Loss leaders. This type of advertisement refers to products that are sold at a loss to attract customers and increase sales of other products. Public relations, including business entertainment and the offering of special awards and sponsorship. Now, public relations, this involves managing the public image and reputation of a company or organization. There are two types of public relations. They are business entertainment and the offering of special awards and sponsorship. Now, business entertainment, this refers to activities such as hosting events, sponsoring charities, and offering special awards to promote a company's image. Sponsorship, this involves providing financial support to events organizations or individuals in exchange for promotional opportunities. Selling. Selling, this refers to, as we know, the process of persuading customers to purchase a product or service. Now, what are the different ways that we could persuade customers to purchase goods or services? And we're going to look at these. Now, selling is a process of persuading. Oh, we did say that. We did say that. Oh, all right. Anyway, I'll still repeat it. So, selling is a process of persuading a customer to buy a product or service. Effective selling requires a combination of skill, knowledge, and strategies. So, you're selling someone something, you have to have, the skill, the knowledge, and strategies to persuade the consumer to buy what you're selling. Now, the key factors that are involved in selling includes salesmen and their approaches. Now, salespeople, they play a crucial role in the selling process. Their approaches, techniques, and strategies can make or break a sale. A good salesperson must be able to build a rapport with customer, understand their needs, and present the product or service in a compelling way. Merchandising and adjusting of pricing policy. So merchandising involves promoting and displaying products in a way that appeals to customers. Adjusting pricing policy refers to changing the prices of products based on market conditions, competition, or other factors. Method of maintaining good customer firm relationship. Building and maintaining relationship with customers is essential in selling. This involves providing excellent customer service, offer after-sales support, and ensuring that customer satisfaction is being met. All right, so good customer firm relationship can lead to repeat business, positive word of mouth, and increase customer loyalty. All right, guys, let's go down to terms of sale, and we are going down nicely. Now, what are the different terms of sales that businesses use when selling products or services to customers? Cash, credit, hire purchase, cash, and trade discounts. Now, term of sales refer to the conditions under which a business sells its products or services to customers. These terms can include, as we just listed, cash, credit, hire purchase cash, and trade discounts. Now, if you're going to use cash, this is a payment method where the customer pays the full amount upfront. So you're buying a sofa and you're using cash as a term of sales to conduct your transaction. This means that you're paying full amount for the sofa. Credit. This is a payment method where the customer pays for the product or service over time, often with interest. Hire purchase. This is a type of credit agreement where the customer pays for the product or service in installments over a period of time. Cash and trade discount. These are discounts that are offered by businesses to customers who pay cash or trade in old products for new ones. All right, so we're going to look at, guys, we're going down nicely. I don't want this video to be too long because you have exam coming up. All right, we don't want the video to be too long. Functions of consumer organization. Functions of consumer. Now, consumer organizations are groups that advocate for the rights and interests of consumers. Now, the right and protection of consumers, we're going to look at that and what it means in terms of private organizations and government. We're also going to look at the role of the Bureau of Standards and the role of the Ombudsman. Now, consumer organizations, they play a crucial role in protecting the rights and interests of consumers. They work to ensure that businesses operate fairly and transparently, and that consumers have access to safe and reliable products. Now, we're going to look at the rights and protection of consumers. Consumer organizations work to protect consumers from unfair business practices such as false advertisements and defective products. What are the roles of the Bureau of Standards? The Bureau of Standards is responsible for setting and enforcing standards for products and services to ensure they meet certain safety and quality requirements. What are the function and roles of the Ombudsman in consumer organization? The Ombudsman is an independent official who investigates complaints from consumers about businesses and provides recommendation for resolving disputes. All right, so even though there are other consumer organizations that we could look at, we are just working at what the syllabus gives to us. So if you're asked about functions of consumer organizations that protect consumers, these are the answers that you should have on your paper. Now we're going to look at the distribution chain. So the distribution chain involves several stages. And before we look at the stages, when we talk about the distribution chain, for those who don't know, it's the process by which products move from the manufacturer to the end consumer, from the manufacturer to the consumer. So the distribution chain includes, we have the manufacturer, the wholesaler, the retailer, and the consumer. The manufacturer produces the product, the wholesaler buys the product from the manufacturer and sell it to the retailer sells the products to the consumer, all right, which is the final person in the distribution chain. Methods of retailing. Now, there are different ways that businesses can sell their products to consumers. All right, and the first one is, so when you talk about methods of retailing, we're just looking at the ways that businesses can sell their products and services to consumers. The first one is shops. We know that shops are just physical stores where consumers can visit and purchase products directly. Usually, shops are located in our local areas. Department stores, these are large retail establishments that offer a wide range of products under one roof. So if you want to buy a product, you can go to a department store. Mail order. This is a method of selling products through mail order, catalogs, or online platforms where consumers place orders by mail or phone. So that's e-commerce. So instead of going into a physical building, you might decide to buy something from an online store or online business. E-commerce, electronic commerce, which involves buying and selling products online through websites or mobile apps. Telemarketing, selling products over the phone. Vending machines, these are automated machines that dispense products when customers insert money for use or use a payment method. So those are the ways that businesses can sell their products to customers. All right, guys, and we are going down nicely. So we're going to look at the forms of transport. I'm not going to go to the other topic section. I think this will be the final section for this video. Now, if you're asked about the forms of transport, I know that's very easy. You can talk about land, air, and sea. If you're asked about the importance of transport in domestic, regional, and foreign trade, we're going to look at that one. All right, so transport plays a crucial role in facilitating the movement of goods and services across different regions and countries. Now, what are the different methods of transporting specific goods? Now we're going to look at what the syllabus says. The different methods of transporting specific goods: oil and gas, which includes pipelines and tankers; timber, which includes rivers and barges. And now we're going to look at, do you want to dwell some more into method of transporting specific goods? All right, so let's just explain what oil and gas pipelines and tankers are. Now, pipelines and tankers are used for transporting oil and gas. So pipelines are efficient for long distance transport over land, while tankers are used for sea transport. Timber, rivers and barges are utilized for transporting timber. This method is particularly effective for moving large quantities of timber over long distance with minimal environmental impact. All right, so 21, the um we're looking at the relationship between airport, harbor, and docking facilities and efficient distribution of goods. Now, what is the connection between the availability of an airport or harbor and a docking facilities, and the efficient distribution of goods? Now, the availability of these facilities can significantly impact the speed and cost effectiveness of goods distribution. So on depending on how fast you want your goods, the airport would enable a fast transportation of goods, especially if they're coming from long distances, especially if the goods are perishable or high value items. We use harbors when we are to facilitate the movement of large volume of goods along sea routes, which is often more cost effective for bulk cargo. Docking facilities, This allows for the efficient loading and unloading of goods from ships, connecting sea transport to land transport. Now, the availability of these facilities directly affects the efficiency of goods distribution. Here's how it affects how goods are distributed: speed and reliability. So, with well-developed airports, harbors, and docking facilities, goods can be moved quickly and reliably. This reduces transit times and increases the speed at which goods reach their destination. Efficient distribution networks, it lower the cost by reducing the needs for intermediate storage and maximize the risk of damage or loss during transit. Adequate facilities can handle large volume of goods, supporting increased demand without bottlenecks in the distribution products. Access to these facilities enhances a region's connectivity to global markets, making it easier to import and export goods. So you're buying a car from Japan, it is easy because these what am I saying? Because these global markets are connected, so it is easier to import and export goods. So finally, and this is the last thing we'll do. Finally, the availability of airport, harbor, and docking facilities is very crucial for the efficient distribution of goods. These facilities, they ensure that goods can be moved quickly and they are cost effective both domestically and internationally. Their development and maintenance are essential for supporting trade and economic growth. Alright guys, this is the end of part 2 of the POB syllabus marathon. We have one more section to look at. I'll try to do that video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and look out for part 3 of the POB syllabus marathon. Alright, see you in another video.